Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. I'm excited for this one. Today we're talking about The Wall. This is my favorite Pink Floyd album. If you couldn't tell by the outro of last episode, this is my favorite Floyd album. Yeah. So, bit of background behind this. In 1977, Pink Floyd did like their biggest tour ever. Up until that point. It was the Animals tour. That's where they started throwing in inflatables and playing the massive stadiums. The problem is, it's a bigger venue. It takes a lot more time to fill, right? Just for people to get there and get into their seats. And they never employed an opening act. So by the time the Floyd took the stage, a lot of the people were already high off their ass or asleep. So yeah, and on the final, and in their final show, I forgot where it was. It's not Toronto. It's somewhere in Canada. There was somebody, shooting off fireworks and, just being a dick. So Roger just lashes out. He is pissed, right? He is pissed, right? He spits on the fan. It is not a good day for Pink Floyd, according to Nick Mason. That was very unlike Roger at the time. I think the rest of this series is going to show that might have been the tour that broke Roger. That might have been where Roger decided, yup, everybody else is wrong. So, yeah, that... Yep, so Roger talks to a therapist and basically goes, I wish I could build a wall between me and the audience. And from there, the ideas started going. Also, the Floyd were in financial troubles because they had given a lot of their money to an investment firm to avoid taxes. Well, as it turns out, that investment firm was doing some shady bullshit. The Floyd were like, oh fuck, we owe the government a lot of fucking money. Sorry about that. Didn't realize that was gonna happen. I hope we're still going. We're gonna move this back a little bit. I'm gonna check. This is going in. This shit's going in. Yep, we're still going. Alright. Yeah, so the Floyd were advised to get out of the country for, an extended period of time. So they went to France. Fun fact, they went to the same studio that David Gilmour used to record his debut solo album. So that's a fun piece of trivia. And also, that studio no longer exists. It burnt down in the 90s. Very sad. So, yeah, they went off to France to do some recording, and basically nobody had an idea apart from Roger because Rick and Dave had just been spent basically all of their ideas recording their respective solo albums, and that is that's gonna come into play for Rick here in a little bit. So Roger comes up with this story of this fella named Pink who loses his father in World War II. It was very autobiographical, let's say that. Who loses his father in World War II, never gets to meet him. Then eventually becomes a rock star and goes a little bit insane. So yeah, we'll get into that. We will get into that. So Rick was going through, like I said last time, he was going through a divorce. He might have had a coke problem at the time. So that's that wasn't great for him. He didn't have a whole lot of ideas. And depending on who you ask, either Roger or Dave decided, hey, maybe we need to fire Rick. So they fired Rick because financial stuff, and Rick wasn't contributing ideas, and Rick basically went, okay, but you're going to let me finish recording this album, and you're going to let me continue to be on, and you're going to let me do the tour for this one. And they were like, all right, but only as a salaried musician. So yeah, Rick kind of got a raw deal, which we will get into in the next episode. So this album, I love it. It is my favorite. It is my favorite, period. This album has so much iconography, like, first of all, the bricks, obviously the walking hammers, the judge, the teacher, lots and lots of Pink Floyd iconography comes from this album. So track 1, In the Flesh. It starts off very quiet. It's almost designed to encourage you to turn your stereo or your CD player or your record player up as high as it will go. And basically, it's a very windy day. And basically, so you turn your record player up, the silent bit of the song ends, and then it smacks you in the face with this fucking dum ba dum pow wow no no no. It is like the best opening on a Floyd album. It is the least Floyd-like opening on a Floyd album, apart from what opens the final cut, but we'll get there. And it is like also like the best. It's fucking awesome. A lot of Floyd albums have had very quiet and very melancholic openers so far in the game. Not like this. This is very much smack in your face, and it is, lyrically it's just like, this is, in the story, I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to start when this song comes back into play later in the album, and I will get there when I get there. Oh my fucking god, if the wind would quit for a little while, that would be great. But yeah, no, the wall, like, it just hits you in the face. Fantastic guitar work from Dave, fantastic organ work from Rick, fantastic vocals from Roger. He really does put in a hell of a performance here. It's fucking awesome. And of course, Nick's beating the fuck out of the drums, as always, cause he's Nick. And he's fucking awesome, just like everybody else in his band. So it is fucking amazing. And then, it kind of dies down in the loudness a little bit, and it fades into the thin ice. Actually, no. You hear the sound of a plane crash and then a crying baby, and it transitions cleanly into the thin ice. The first side of this album is like one of the best first sides of any album. Trust me on this one. And it goes to a baby crying, and this is basically our main character, Pink. Pink has been born, right? That, plane crash is meant to represent his father dying, and the baby crying is meant to represent the birth of Pink. Pink never met his father. All right? Right? So Pink's gonna have some daddy issues. I met my father. I got daddy issues. So you can kind of see why I relate to this album, but we'll get into that. I'll get into my personal history probably at the end of this of this project here. So yeah. So yeah, and the lyrics come in, and it's meant and it's Dave singing, and it's meant, all of the lyrics here are meant to be from the perspective of Pink's mother. The thing is, halfway through the song, Roger takes over, and he doesn't put in as good a vocal performance as Dave, because he can't sing as well as Dave. That's just a fact. Alright? That's not to say that it's bad. It's just, it's just not as good as Dave. And then Dave rips another fucking awesome solo. And if it could stop being windy for this, that would be great. Dave rips another fucking awesome solo, and then it cleanly transitions. Boom, the album quiets down, and we're in another Brick in the Wall part 1. And this is, a young Pink, probably a 5 or 6 year old Pink, either being told or thinking about the fact that, his father's home across the ocean. He only has a memory, a snapshot in a family album. Like, what else did Dad leave for me? And this becomes his first brick in the wall. All right, like, that becomes his first brick in the wall, the first of many. He starts building a mental wall to sort of isolate himself from the outside world. And it's, like, this song is very quiet. It's got a continuous guitar riff under the entire thing, of course, played by Dave. Rick's doing some cool shit on the synth. No drums, surprisingly, and, not a whole lot of bass. So this is one of those few songs where Dave and Rick are kind of carrying this album. Dave carries a lot of this album. As does Roger, and, Rick's on here. He's on here. He's got some moments that I love, on here. One of them is way later in the album. We'll get there. So, yeah, like, it's quiet, and then, like, there's children playing, and then you hear the sound of a helicopter start up. And then the iconic, "You! Yes, you! Stand still a day!" We've hit the happiest days of our lives. And Roger does some of his best bass playing here. Like, it's fucking cool, right? And of course you've got Dave's sort of continuing the the Brick in the Wall part 1 thing going on. And this is talking about, 1950s London elementary school education, or 1950s English elementary school education. It was not a good time. Roger was not a fan. Basically, this is, teachers, this was the era where, you misbehaved, you got an ass beaten, not only at home, you got an ass beaten in school. Alright? Like, you fucked up the teacher, they would smack you with a ruler, you'd get a fucking paddling. It's like this big, pizza plank thing, with holes in it, and they would just smack that thing right on your ass. And just speaking from experience, not from being paddled, but having having been hit with a multitude of different objects, getting your ass beat by something like that fucking hurts like hell. Alright, so, yeah, looking back, Roger's kind of like, that ain't fucking right, man. Yeah, and then, of course, it transitions into another Brick in the Wall part 2. Everybody and their mother has heard this fucking song, alright? It's the, "We don't need no education." And it's, again, song a tad overplayed. It's still fucking awesome, and Dave still rips a fucking great solo. It's awesome. And also the children singing the song, the second verse, which is just the first verse, but repeated by children. That's just a couple of kids that Nick recorded, and then it's just cloned a bunch of times. So, yeah. And then it was released as a single. It wasn't intended to be a single, but, it became one. Because they kind of needed one to start it off. And, of course, this sort of became Pink Floyd's signature song. It was played on every subsequent tour by Pink Floyd and every subsequent tour by Roger Waters. So, yeah. Again, fantastic album here. And then that, of course, transitions into side 1's closer, Mother. And this is and again, of course, the abuse that Pink experiences in the education system. That becomes another several bricks in his wall. And then Mother. which describes Pink's life growing up with an overprotective mother. Like, because his mom lost her husband in World War II, and so she doesn't want to lose her son, which makes sense, right? But she doesn't go about it in a very healthy way, and we are very aware that it's not a healthy way. And there's a line here like, mother, should I run for president? Mother, should I trust the government? Never trust the government. But it's basically Pink asking his mom a bunch of questions, and his mom's like, don't worry, I'll keep you safe. And at the end of the song, Pink asks, Mom, did the wall need to be so high? And then the next song is, I think, from Pink's, the next song, side 2 opener is Goodbye Blue Sky. And I think it's supposed to be from Pink's mom's perspective. Or it's supposed to be Pink's perspective of his mother telling him about all the shit she saw during the Blitz in World War II. Yeah, this album's fucking heavy as hell, man. And this album, we're basically doing a 3-part Wall miniseries. Just prepare yourself. But yeah, no, you've got you've got Goodbye Blue Sky. Did you ever hear the Falling Bombs? Did you hear the Frightened Ones? Did you ever hear the Promise of a Brave New World unfelt beneath the clear blue sky? It's a short song, but it gets the point across of, oh, shit's going down. And then next is, and then of course Goodbye Blue Sky transitions cleanly into Empty Spaces. And this was originally a longer song, but they couldn't really fit it on disc 1 of the album. Okay. I wish it had been included, but, and I think the studio version's still out there, and Pink Floyd recently sold their catalog to Sony, and I'll do a more in-depth video about that once again at the end of this project, or probably early next year. So maybe we'll finally get to hear the studio version of that, on an official release. That's not the movie, which we will talk about, but we'll get there. And but it's basically how should I complete the wall? And it's 50 seconds. It's not even a minute. And then Young Lust hits you in the face. And guess what? Pink's an adult now. He's a rock and roll star now. He's out on the road. He's getting pussy. This is a song about Pink shacking up with groupies while he's on tour. That's why it's called Young Lust. And Dave is fucking killing it on the guitar and also killing it with his voice. And this is a great piece of music, but it's also one of the few Floyd songs that makes me go, yeah, this is definitely the 70s. But yeah, no, it's but Dave's fucking ripping it. Dave carries this song, man. This song's fucking awesome. I love this friggin' song. And it's played on the radio. I've heard it played on the radio more than once. And it's, again, I can see why. It's fucking great. And then Young Lust transitions into one of my turns. Let me say one more thing about Young Lust. The number of children conceived to this song is probably not an insignificant number. I'll say that and leave it there. But next we have one of my turns, which is a slow, morose thing for the first half, where he's basically yep, my life kinda sucks. I'm about to have a goddamn mental breakdown. Here we fucking go. And the second half, he goes insane, and there's a groupie in his room, and he chases her out, and then it continues, on with, that Young Lust groove, and then there's Don't Leave Me Now, talking about his wife who has left him. We got that in the phone call at the end of Young Lust. Forgot to mention that. I've just realized, we've got Don't Leave Me Now, and he's basically like, hey, don't leave me now, I gotta leave you first. That's essentially the song. That's essentially what Pink is saying with this song. He's just like, hey, before you fuck me up, I gotta fuck you up. And then it's silent for a little bit, and then you hear nothing but the sound of a TV, and then the sound of Pink throwing shit, and then you've got another brick in the wall, part 3. This is basically like the point in the story where Pink's wall is complete. Like I don't need no arms around me. I don't need no drugs to call me. I have seen the writing on the wall. I don't think I need anything at all. All in all, it was all just bricks in the wall. And then we hit Goodbye Cruel World, which is basically Pink going, I'm done. And it's a very sad ending. And this very well could have been where this album ended. We've got disc 2 to cover. So, disc 2, side 3, track 1. It's fucking Hey You. Hey You's awesome. I don't know what I gotta tell you. This is basically Pink talking to that part of his consciousness that's trapped behind the wall or on the other side of the wall. Basically hey man, this ain't healthy, but he's pushing that voice back. He's pushing that voice back. He doesn't want to talk to you. The acoustic guitar riff in the beginning is fucking fantastic. Of course, played by Dave. There's some fretless bass. And then, I believe there's a couple of references to echoes in Hey You. That could be Don't Leave Me Now. Actually, no, that's the next one. Never mind. But hey, yeah. And Hey You, of course, has yet another bitchin' electric guitar solo from Dave. Because it's Dave. And every solo he has ever played has at least been somewhat cool. And this solo is well beyond somewhat cool. It's awesome! It's a fucking David Gilmour guitar solo. I don't know what else to tell you. It's fucking awesome. And then, there's that, but it was always fantasy. The wall was too high, as you can see. No matter how he tried, he could not break free, and the worms entered his brain. He's basically no, wait, reach out. Maybe I don't want to push this part of my mind back, but he already has. It's too late, man. Or too late for now. And then side 3, track 2, Is There Anybody Out There? This has callbacks to Echoes with David Gilmour's guitar wail noises, or as I like to call it, guitar squeakage. It's basically, is there anybody out there, repeated 4 times, and then, an ascending and descending acoustic guitar lick. And then in comes Nobody Home. And this is the one where he's just like, well, I'm in a hotel room. I've got my little black book with my poems in. Got my toothbrush and my comb in my bag. I've got a chair to prop up my mortal remains. I've got nicotine stains on my fingers. Got a silver spoon on a chain. Got 13 channels of shit on the TV to choose from. I've got wild staring eyes, strong urge to fly, obligatory Hendrix perm. Canhole burns all down my favorite satin shirt. And he's trying to call his wife. He's still trying to call his wife. Nobody's answering. So he's just like, yep, there's nobody home. Which could also mean hey, my mind's fucking gone right now. Right? And he could be drugged out as well. He probably is. And then, and then in comes Vera, and it's basically talking about, hey Vera, remember how you said you'd be back again some sunny day? I'm going nuts. Does anybody else in here feel like I do right now? That's essentially the song. And then there's Bring the Boys Back Home, where it's basically, he's basically going insane. He's starting to hallucinate a lot over what he's on. And he's about to get more drugs in the next one. But the next song is one of the greatest songs ever written. After, Bring the Boys Back Home, don't leave the children all alone. No, bring the boys back home. He wants to see his dad. He wants to meet his dad. He never met his dad. He's kind of suicidal right now. And then what happens after Bring the Boys Back Home? There's a cacophony of sounds. Classic Pink Floyd sound cacophony, if you will. It's a cacophony of sounds we've heard through the rest of the album. And then, it cuts off as he goes, is there anybody out there? And then it smacks you in the face. It's Comfortably Numb. This is the greatest Pink Floyd song ever written. Hands down. Greatest Pink Floyd song ever written. The greatest song ever written. Nothing has ever topped it. Nothing ever will. Right? It's just fucking great. And he's and then a doctor comes in. And he's just hey man, is there anybody hey man, you alright? Hey, just not if you can hear me. Alright. Tell me where it hurts. And it's basically him going hey, I'm having this fever, this thing very similar to when I was a kid. And then I cannot explain, this is not how I am. I have become comfortably numb. And then Dave comes in with a fucking great solo, cause it's fucking David Gilmour, and it's a fucking great solo, and then you hear the Comfortably Numb line again, and then the doctor's got just the thing for you. You know how you're whacked out on drugs right now? Guess what? More fucking drugs! Just a little pinprick. There'll be no more. You may feel a little sick. Can you stand up? Yep, it's working. That'll keep you going for the show. Come on, buddy, it's time to go. And then, in the second, there is no pain, you are receding. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear you. When I was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look, but it was gone. That could be talking about, how he might have some very faint memory of his father. I turned to look, but it was gone. I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is grown. The dream is gone. And I have become comfortably numb. And then Dave plays the best solo that has ever been on a studio album ever. There's this is the greatest guitar solo on a studio album of all fucking time. And it's the second greatest guitar solo on an album, period. Dave is responsible for the top two greatest guitar solos of all time. We'll get to the second one. Hint, it's on the same song, but it's on a different version of the same song, but we'll fucking get there. Dave just fucking rips. Fuck Freebird. Fuck Stairway to Heaven. Fuck whatever the hell Bon Jovi's doing on fucking Cowboy Steel Horse I Ride. Fuck Firth the Fifth. This is the greatest guitar solo of all time for the intents of this discussion. Every time I hear this solo, I jizz my pants profusely. I jizz my pants. That is how fucking awesome this guitar solo is. And if you're not convinced, go fucking listen to it. Go pause this video, stop right now, leave a like on it first, but pause this video, and then fucking go over to Spotify, type in Comfortably Numb, and listen to it. 'Cause it's fucking awesome. right? And there's no better song to close side 3 of the album with, And then, side 4, track 1, The Show Must Go On, not to be confused with the Queen song. These have no connection aside from titles. It's basically like, hey, I don't want to do this. Like, hey, I didn't want to. This is not where I thought this was going to go when I started building my wall, man. And I don't want to go out in front of all these people in my drugged up state. Fuck it. The show must go on. And then we've got In the Flesh. Boom. In my interpretation, we are back to the beginning. He is whacked out on drugs. He's just like, hey, man, like, what you're seeing right here, this ain't Pink. This is some other guy. And there's also some satire. Like, there's some weird fucking shit in this point of the song. Go listen to it yourself. But basically, Pink is so far gone that he's imagining himself as a fascist dictator saying, hey, these are the groups of people I want to kill. And there's also some satire with how people sort of worship celebrities and basically do whatever they tell them, which is kind of like ahead of its time in 1979. I will say it's kind of ahead of its time there. I hope I'm still going. I hope. Give me a minute here. Oh yeah, I'm still going. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, no. This might take 4 days to upload. Boy. Yeah, no, but he's basically like, hey, here are the groups of people I want to kill. I can't say the groups of people that he wants to kill. That might be a violation of YouTube's terms of service. But go give it a listen. You'll understand why. Yeah, and he's basically like, all right, go kill all these people. And then we've got the third thing that was released as a single for this album. We've got Run Like Hell. And this would go on to be played on every subsequent Floyd tour, most of David Gilmour's solo tours, and I think every subsequent Roger solo tour. I'll update you on that when we get to sort of his solo career. But again, that's gonna be a minute. So yeah, Run Like Hell. It's fucking awesome, and Rick gets to do some fucking synth solo shit, and it's fucking great. And then that transitions into Waiting for the Worms, which is sort of a continuation of In the Flesh. It's very, very weird. It's just like, all right, we're hunting down all the people I want to kill. Like that's what's going on in Pink's mind right now, because he is whacked out. He's just like waiting for the worms. He's basically imagining himself as a Nazi right now. And then finally we have Stop as he's starting to come down from his high. It's just like, hey man, I did not intend for this to happen. Can you let me out of this? I want it to stop. Okay, like there's only one solution for this. I gotta put myself on trial. And then we have the trial. And this is basically where, from Stop through to Outside the Wall, or basically from Waiting for the Worms through outside the wall, the only voice you hear is Roger. It's basically like that with In the Flesh as well, right? So basically, the last 6 songs on the album are purely Roger. Dave gets a couple of lines in there, but this is basically where Roger thinks he has become Pink Floyd. That's what happens here. Whole lot of drama. We'll get to that when we get to the final cut. But yeah, right, which is not going to be for a little bit here. That's going to be another week. But yeah, no, we've got we've got Stop, and then we hit the trial, and he puts himself on trial. He's visited by the spirits of his mother and his wife, and the school teacher, and then basically, the judge basically goes, look at what you've done to these lovely people. tear down your fucking wall. You've got to expose your mental problems to the world. So the wall gets torn down, and then you've got outside the wall, which is basically like, hey, don't build a wall inside your mind. That's not very healthy for you. All right? Like get help, basically. Don't bury that shit deep down. You need some fucking help. That's the moral of the story. And then outside the wall ends very abruptly. And it clicks when you listen to the album again and realize, oh, that's where the opening song, In the Flesh, was. That's what was playing there. So yeah. Fucking go buy this album. Like, go buy it. Fucking go buy it. Like, or borrow it from a friend and then buy it off of your friend because you will enjoy this album greatly. Like, go fucking buy it. It's like 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love this album. This is my favorite Floyd album. Favorite. Period. Full stop. I love it. Like, it does have problems. I will admit it. Right? But it's like that Top Gear meme. Alright? Imagine the two cars are Dark Side and the Wall. Alright? Dark Side's brilliant. But I like this. Alright? Like, I like this. Dark Side's brilliant. I like this. Alright? So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add in the comments section below, please do that. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please hit subscribe. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I'll link the most recent episode in the description down below. The Wall Tour is going to be the next video. A lot of shit went down on the Wall Tour, but it's not going to be as long. The video, I don't think, is going to be as long as this video. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, blah blah blah. If you want to hear what I happen to be listening to on a given day, or a 15-second segment at least, please give me a follow at Sean_Heaster1979 on Instagram. I post a 15-second segment of a song on my story there every single day. So yeah, Wall Tour's next. And with that, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.